because I look at this stuff and I go, I know what to do. Stocks, I don't know. So don't ever expect Meet Kevin to sell you a stock investing course.
Great intro. How
Should do
timely.
it again. I was trying to click something else. Okay. We should play it one more time.
The point is, to me, real estate's freaking easy because I look at this stuff and I go, I know what to do. Stocks, I don't know. So don't ever expect Meet Kevin to sell you a stock investing course.
Or an ETF.
Simpler times, man. Simpler times.
Oh. I don't know, like I'm like, oh, I'll do a video, then I'll fall asleep or not feel like it. And then lovely information comes from the heavens. Like, I don't know. I didn't know which one I expected first. The ETF to fail, he loses jet. We find out House Hack is bankrupt or something. Oh, it just keeps coming for him.
That's the wonderful thing about a house of cards sometimes, is you just don't know what part falls first.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get my shot straight. It's been quite the week. It's been a good year.
Yeah, so far. Eventful.
So my trading account is up, I believe, 45%.
Very nice.
I was going to show it in the group, but then Nash asked for my 1 year instead of year to date. So I shown that. Yeah, it's I'm trying to recap. Like, I was just kind of going to come into this year nice and easy after last year, but then it's like Uber seemed like such a good deal at 60.
Yeah.
And then we had the freaking drop in the market, the panic of DeepSeek. TSSI buying that in 12s. TLN, when TLN dropped on the DeepSeek news, I didn't buy any more shares. I haven't bought any more shares since we originally purchased it in 170s. But I was like, I bought options to go along with it. And then I sold it with, it's funny because what was it? Andrew or me sold it first within like 2 minutes of each other. We're both working. And we're both like, oh, we're out at like the same time. This is like, I mean, granted, it went up afterwards, but you know, you don't time everything perfectly. At least it didn't go down.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed talking to Ricky about FTAI.
Complicated thing.
Very complicated.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people just like think they can just, like the value investor people, because they just think every company just is a representation of the cash that the company can generate in the future, like what Paul says. And I'm like, I think that is such a stupid way to think about this. Companies are very complicated sometimes. Some companies are not complicated, but like that, trying to wrap my brain around like the jet engines and modules in the industry, interesting.
Yeah,
and then that could be a different episode though. Looking at the Muddy Waters report, I kind of want to wait till after their earnings to go through Muddy Waters, because then it can validate that I believe. I'll egg on my face if I bash Muddy Waters and then the next earnings come out and it's like crashes. Like,
yeah. Oh, time is the definite final arbiter.
I got to be a good YouTuber. So if I'm right, I need to plaster it all over the public, and if I'm wrong, I have to hide it. I've learned well. This is how you invest on YouTube. So
thankfully, I think the audience knows that we're definitely joking around when it comes to us, at least.
I don't know if I would talk necessarily hugely about FTAI on here, because there's a lot to understand.
Yeah, because like I have a very, very small position on it. Like, if I win, quote unquote, I don't have a right to like dance on top of a hillside. And if I lose, like, you know, who cares?
I think juice could be worth the squeeze. Yeah. Like, and maybe after their earnings, I'll go through Muddy Waters report, maybe on a live stream, because I think a lot of their concerns about FTAI were, it's weird because they do like some of their other work is like fraud, like they're alleging fraud, rampant illegal activity, people going to jail. The one they did for FTAI, it was like This is just like financial disclosure, questionable financial decision making. Like, very odd for a short report. And then I heard rumors that it was shopped around beforehand, and there were huge positions that were taken right before the report launched. So it's funny though, because every short person bashes every other shorting person, which isn't that much different than sports bettors on Twitter. You know, you're the real deal, and everyone else is a clown, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes a difference. So
Mhm.
let's see. Congratulations on Crocs speaking. I, for the record, did not buy any more before earnings. I doubled my position at open today, though.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I have not bought any more since 2022. I think that's
Yeah.
when we bought it, right? I think it was
Yeah,
2020.
because I did a little bit of modest buying leading up to this again. Like even though I still had my
I think I got in at like what 104 this morning.
yeah. Go.
But
Yeah.
I wanted the validation of earnings because, as
Mhm.
I had said this week, I was concerned about some of the things I was hearing about Hey Dudes, and there were some litigation questions about like, did they pad the numbers of Hey Dudes before they bought it, so
Mhm.
forth, which is all short term. So I'm like, this is not like a long term obliteration. I was thinking they might have a short term hiccup after earnings, but I wanted to see the earnings before I bought anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, here's the market. I
Mhm.
don't have the risk of the earnings now, and I lost on 20%. But it's such a damn cheap company. So
Yeah, and also like you've held like far better cost basis than even I did when I had those original better cost basis shares.
BTI got obliterated today. Sorry, damn
Yeah,
dividend stocks are off. Oh my god.
but the like on the day, yes, but like the lead up to the day,
Point of order.
yes,
I bought it 29. So
yeah,
obliteration I disagree with. I think it's worth mid 40s, which is kind of I've thought BTI has been worth something in the mid 40s since I bought it.
mm,
Which is funny because we were almost creeping up to where I thought it was worth. It got up to like 42.8.
yeah.
So we were creeping towards what I thought it was worth,
Hmm.
which was kind of interesting because it's not like I was going to sell it at 45. And then there's some news about tax. I mean, look, it's a cigarette company. People, countries, put up new taxes and tariffs and stuff like that for these companies. It happens. They're going to a smokeless future. So hopefully over time, the cigarette income will be reduced, which means you can lessen the risks of things like this, where countries will think they're like slick and we're a country, healthy first, and we're going to ban cigarettes and whatever other crap. But
Yeah, because the Canada news apparently was actually like old,
wait,
relatively
where's
old
the
news.
investment of Forex 4 years?
Yeah, he has a list of what he thinks will be the uh ugly
Oh,
performers.
here's the next. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It was a two-part. I'm like, slow your roll, dude. Like BTI worst investment.
yeah. I don't
Okay.
foresee BTI necessarily being
Lockheed Martin, General Motors. Well, General Motors has a lot of their business in Canada and Mexico. Lockheed Martin,
maybe. Could.
I've been thinking about reducing my Lockheed position for a
That's fair.
while. Not really
Yeah.
decided, but there's no guarantee they get the 6th gen fighter.
Hmm. Yeah.
And if they lose the 6th gen fighter, man, they might get cut in half. Like literally, the stock could get cut in half. And then they have a lot of business with Ukraine.
Hmm.
A lot of the missile systems are coming out of there. So United Health. So like Trump is now signaling that he's willing to fight about healthcare costs, which he didn't campaign on that.
Yeah.
So, Humana. Yeah, Humana.
Interesting.
Oh my God. I would run for the hills if anyone suggested anything related to freaking Medicare or Medicaid. I don't think he's going to touch Medicare. Medicaid is going to get annihilated, I think. I think they're going to cut a ton. I think it said potentially $800 million or $800 billion. They were talking about cutting at various health programs related to Medicaid. It's like, oh my God.
Jeez.
Where's BTI on the menu? I wouldn't buy any. I bought it once. I don't think I would buy it over 30. It depends though. It was a one singular opportunity, I thought. Okay. What happened? We got to move on with the subjects.
Yeah.
What happened? So what happened to Huntington was kind of what one of the risk factors of Huntington is that their management is questionable and the business is not recovering like as fast as we'd like.
Yep.
Margins are down. So the difficulties are not being dealt with their, developing the carriers and their workforce problems. So things are getting worse in that department. That's why I thought when it dropped to 180s, that's what I wanted originally, not 200s. So yeah, shit happens. Like you identify a risk and the risk can happen and then the stock can go down.
Yeah. I'm still in there and I've eaten my yummy pain along the way.
It's kind of like this dilemma like Boeing. They have all this business out in front of them, right? It's a different type. They're not like they're not like having to hunt for people to buy the products like most companies in the world. The customer's right there in your parking lot knocking on your door, like, and you can't figure out a way to get the product to them. So it's a different type of, I'm not going to say it's a better problem because they're having a lot of difficulties right now, but the business is there. And I think there's going to be huge increases in shipbuilding.
Yeah. We have that future live stream to look forward to.
It's not like $100,000 position. How many stocks do you own in your portfolio, Dan? It's I think 16 in my dividend portfolio, and then DLN. Speculation. Let me see. TSSI, DLN. I think it's like 6 in that portfolio. Oh. ULBTI dividend burn today. Yeah.
The dividend. Yeah, that was my reply.
The earnings report. Oh,
yeah, for the Huntington Ingalls. Yep, yummy.
6 fighter will go to SpaceX. Okay, sure. I mean, Northrop's going to try. Boeing will probably make an attempt. So we will see. Okay, Crocs.
Yeah, Crocs.
So I think we've all owned Crocs for a long time.
Yep. Part
of it's like, it's just highly profitable business, super cheap margins or multiple. It's very easy to understand. So we can understand how they'll do well. And then they got hijacked by making what I thought was a good decision. It turned out to be a poor decision to buy Hey Dudes. They didn't have the infrastructure for it.
Yeah.
So they didn't think it through. They used a lot of debt to buy it. We all know this. So some of the things here, profitable, their margins went up. Impressive.
Oh, yes.
They have like some of the best margins in the shoe industry.
Yeah.
That's another part that, so they're very high free cash flow business, highly profitable, very simple product to understand. And organic, the growth is what, like 4%, I think, in the US.
Yeah, North America. Yeah.
So their core business is growing very slow. And they have some exciting higher growth segments, I think China and India.
Yeah, for international.
Yeah. So, and then they had, I think, $300 million of share buyback left at the end of the year. They were buying shares back at like 127, I think they said in the earnings call. They just reauthorized $1 billion share buyback. So now they have 1.3 because they're putting it on top of what they already authorized. So, wow. I mean, even at this run up, this is like super cheap prices to buy shares back. I would hope they're buying back crazy amounts of shares right now, around $100. What else? What are there any other comments about it? So here's the guidance. I mean, first quarter, it's understandable. It goes down because it's not holidays.
Yeah.
So the holidays are over. So it goes a bit down. So full year guidance, I'm more interested in. Okay. So Crocs 4.5. Hey Dudes, they're looking still trying to figure out what to do. Still talking about losses expected. It's, I mean, they're trying to get it as profitable as Crocs itself. What else do we have to say? But we wish they hadn't bought it, but here we are. So we can deal with it. They have Sydney Sweeney, which apparently they talk very positively about that ad campaign for Hey Dudes.
Yeah. The product lines underneath it. Like if you listen to the earnings call and you hear a first name and you don't know all the product lines, it's probably a product line under Hey Dude.
So they paid down quite a bit of debt in the call too. I was like, so they paid a lot of the debt back. Excellent.
Oh yeah.
Good job on their part. So SG&A is going to go up.
Yep.
So they're going to make more of a temp on sales, you know.
Yeah.
The Sydney Sweeney advertising. So I don't know, anything else strike you from the earnings?
What struck me was like a whole bunch of competence. And what I'm like, you know, like how the word mid has gotten thrown around a lot and like people just scoff it off. Sometimes you don't necessarily need amazing excellence. Sometimes you just need competence, reliability, dependability. And I thought management was quite prudent because what was some of the fears with the price movement heading into this earnings? My guess is tariff concerns, possible foreign exchange concerns. Management spent a lot of time during Q&A, like working with the analyst Q&A and on that very topic. And a lot of it also seemed very reasonable. Like one of the things that I've tried to monitor is that inventory number without even plugging into inventory turnover ratio. Like
it went
this
down.
company, like it's these guys are, this crew is really good at,
like if I close my eyes and I like my worst case scenario for what this earnings was, it would have been inventory creeping up. Tariff concerns actually are starting to show, like their margins start to bleed. Currency issues. Because we're kind of in flux right now about like the dollar.
So
so far pretty dang impressive.
And management team also like laid out their three main decision makers, which would be marketing expense for the SG&A for top line growth. So they're still focused on growing. Obviously, it's not going to knock your socks off, but it'll be respectable and respectable and challenging. But also like they still care about margins, and they still want to be disciplined on debt and more juicy buying back shares. So
and we know they produce in China and Vietnam, I think.
Vietnam is probably the biggest.
So maybe they can pivot if they need to Vietnam more. So we shall see. But I mean, tariffs won't affect them if they're producing in China and selling in China. I don't think the tariffs will affect them at that point.
Shouldn't.
So Chinese growth is up huge, which is great. They have they're talking about some innovative products, which there's a Crocs outlet now near me, which wasn't there before. So I visited it like a month ago, which was funny because then I had the photos with me behind with all the Crocs. They have like beach Crocs, which I thought was I'm gonna get a pair when I go to the beach because they're like they have like a coating, I guess, for like walking in sand. So it's almost like a rough coating on them. So just something like that.
Interesting.
Do I wear them any? I don't. I mean, I have like the sandals. I don't really have Crocs other than that.
So it's.
But I mean, their revenue's strong, great margins. We just are like, please don't buy anything. Please, for the love of God, don't buy anything for a while. But somebody made a good point too. Is this an acquisition target for like private equity?
Oh yeah. Someone did raise that.
And how cheap they are with the strong cash flows, decent growth prospects. It's like what? Not even a $10 billion company. I mean, maybe. So that would be good, right? Because if they're going to come in with a cash offer, I mean, it might be $200 a share if someone were to try to buy them.
Fingers crossed. Otherwise, it gets stolen from us.
200. I've never changed from that. Oh, that's funny. I deal with a guy named Chris Nardone. That's funny. So I don't know. This is kind of like a because a lot of people are very tech savvy AI investors that
Mhm.
we know, and I think they want something other than tech. And Crocs is like a good complement almost
It
to those type
can
of
be.
investments.
Yeah.
I think it can be.
Yeah. Like
Um,
I would say like if you wanted to do this, be very patient with the volatility. It has been and probably will continue to be a very volatile name, but yeah, like you have the opportunity. We have clarity on this
mhm.
company, and I think they've been outside of again so far. Hey, dude has been really ugly looking. Um, it's it's nice.
Yeah. Oh, no dice on that. You said so. So people want to go check the Q&A.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. When it comes to any sort of tariff concerns, I thought they handled that very well.
all right, let me look. Here we go.
Yep.
I don't read transcripts for people. I'll like search key terms
Hmm.
mostly. If I have more time, maybe I'll read more. Like I
Yep.
like to read like the opening statements from the CEO or CFO.
Yep.
Then I'll usually skip to the bottom, read some Q&A. Other than that, I'll search key terms. Let's see. Our guidance embeds an additional 10%. Okay, so
Yeah, they're already.
they're
Yeah.
already plugging in a
Hmm.
10% tariff on their Chinese goods. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so
And
their numbers already represent these. I mean, but you got to, you never know with Trump. He
mhm.
just one day he'll just decide to either increase, decrease, or add a new product or country. It's just the way the world's going to work for the next 4 years. Let's see. And he's talking reciprocal tariffs. So he could start at 15. Then that country thinks they want to be sassy and tariff us back, and then he doubles the tariff. I mean, who knows?
Yep.
Um, throw logic out the window. Like, doesn't matter what you think. Okay. Approximately $11 million headwind to gross profits from these initial tariffs are roughly 25 basis points. I mean, so like,
Yeah.
small,
Like yeah.
small adjustment. So you could factor this into your modeling if you wanted. So he's telling you
Yeah.
potential effects, 11 million. You could dock them if you choose to. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's like I said. I thought they did
I mean,
really good
but for
job.
me to say double for people, it's like I went from like 25 to 50 shares. So it's like that's it. Um, and then here's just here's some of their competitors.
Yep.
It's just what Seeking Alpha decided. I don't think I can change this. Allbirds, Skechers, Wolverine, Steve Madden. Don't ask me to plug in Nike. Shut your dirty mouth. I mean, you can look, they're the most profitable.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Gross profit
Yeah,
perspective. Yeah. These guys. They just keep nailing it.
Allbirds, get the hell out of here, your
Yeah.
freaking grandpa
I
shoes.
I
But
keep
like,
waiting for it to get eroded, and it just doesn't seem to happen.
did they have free clat? Okay. Leveraged free. Okay, I don't want to talk
Yeah.
about that one.
Yeah.
So,
TTM. Like it's still respectable.
I mean, I still think it's still, I mean, if we do think, I mean, I think it's a $200 stock. So,
Hmm.
if someone thinks it's a good buy, I'm like, I don't know, like I've bought it higher than this. Like, I think it's a $200 stock. So, people can make their own decision, but like it's volatile.
Yep.
They're guiding down for first quarter.
Hmm.
So it could very easily go back to like $90, $80.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what's so interesting about it, but it is there.
Yep.
I mean, some
It's
people have bought it 50 and sold it over 100, like 140 that we know.
mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's one where cautious optimism is my my two words that I go to with it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Look at all these comments.
Oh yeah. Apparently, Crocs is very popular.
Crocs is very popular. I feel
Yeah.
it. Crocs has some irons in the fire for marketing that could help. Yeah, they
Yeah.
did say they're doing a pretty sizable increase in SG&A.
Hmm.
I think they're increasing their marketing budget, and they totally can, and I think that's the right move to increase marketing. Crocs are the most comfortable shoes of all time. Wearing them with true flex. I don't know if it's a real negative, but there are school districts that are not allowing kids to wear Crocs at them. Like, do I think that's really a headwind to the company? No, I
No,
mean,
I don't either.
they'll still have the Crocs at home.
Yeah,
They just won't wear them to school.
yeah.
So, I mean, I don't wear Crocs out in public. Like, I have a pair of Crocs and a pair of Croc sandals, and they're just for home use. Like, I don't wear slippers. I've owned Crocs since 2019. Yes. Crocs are the most disgusting shoes known to man. With that being said, I see a massive positioning. Yep.
Yeah, Andrew was quick to act.
Well, you know that they were the shoes from that that one movie.
Oh yeah, Idiocracy. Yeah, yeah, good
Idiocracy.
times. Yep.
And they purposely went out and looked for like a dumb futuristic looking shoe, and they found them. And they it was just hilarious. So I wonder like how much you would have made if you bought the stock after you watched that movie. How much money you would have made if it was even public at that point. Who knows?
I forget when the movie came out, but like if you max charted, because you remember like back when we would talk about Crocs, people were like, "Oh, it's a fad," and the share price literally like max charted very early on. It did show fad signs, and they did things like improve distribution channels and all the boring stuff that you have to do in the space. So it was flat dead money for quite a while, and then here we are.
Mhm.
So
I mean, slow, steady growth,
Mhm.
and if they can effectively implement those share buybacks,
Yep.
they have the debt paid down pretty well.
Oh yeah.
So the Hey Dudes problems are not so bad.
Yeah.
That
sales are
1.3
fast.
billion
Mhm.
share buyback, if they do like just model if say half of that happens in the next 6 months, like they're just eating their own shares alive.
Yeah.
So I think it's a smaller position for me.
Yeah, I'm happy with where it is.
I'm
It's
an air
roughly
conditioning man, so that's where my heart is.
roughly 5% for me, so I'm happy.
All right, we got to talk about
Oh yeah, gotta.
good old meet Kevin. Did you like my thumbnail? What do you think?
Thought it was beautiful. I thought it was.
I did change the baby face, swapped it out at the last minute. So I had to put the crying person. I was going to put Bobo, but I couldn't make it look right. Bobo would have been the funny one to make the baby. It's just like he always brings the baby out when he has something terrible and like some failure in his life. He always has to bring his kid out, put him in front of him.
He's a politician.
But then Elon did like the same damn thing when he was at the White House, which was super weird. Did you hear? Okay, this is off topic. Did you hear what the kid was saying to Donald Trump?
I did not know.
So suppose I don't know if I heard it. I like you read the text of what someone's telling you and you think I'm not sure. It sounded like the kid told Donald Trump that you're not the president and then to shush your mouth when Elon was talking.
Bruh.
But I wish I had listened to it before I read it because you read that someone telling you that's what the kid said. And now you're going to believe it.
Mhm.
But man, I think he did say shush your mouth. I'm like, what is going on? Like, that was weird because Trump just sat there like quietly. But I don't know, like maybe he's just like, you know what? I'm not gonna like Elon's doing all the dirty work I want him to do.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I'm good with this, you know. I'll
Yeah.
just let him go off and do the Elon Doge stuff. Wild times we live in.
Certainly. But yeah,
If you're a federal worker, I feel for you. I don't know. I can't even imagine what they're feeling. I have two friends that work. I haven't talked to them in a few weeks. Rough times. If you're on probation, you're probably not going to be there long. So it's the risks of working for the government. I mean, I don't know. Like my grant could very realistically go away. And I don't know. I would get transitioned to some other job because I have like 18 years of credit.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you just roll with the punches, I guess. So, but I have a feeling a lot of the people that did the buyout probably were already retired or about to retire.
That's my suspicion as well.
So that's good though, because if he wants to save money,
Yeah.
like if you want to save money, retirement incentives are the best way to do it because these are people that either have already hit retirement age and are just padding their numbers, right? And they're the most expensive employees because they're at the top of their pay scales.
Mhm.
So you offer a retirement incentive or 8 months of pay like he did, and then you'll get a lot of them to go. Plus they get a cash buyout for their vacation time. So like New York has done it before, where they offered like retirement credits, like 3 or 4 years. So someone like 26 years could go. But yeah, you clear out like the older people, but then he also cleared out the probationary people. So they're just trying to hit numbers at this point. They don't care who it is. Anyways, poor Feds. But so Meet Kevin ETF closed.
Yes.
You know, like we've covered so much Meet Kevin stuff. I cover him all the time. And it's just like, I mean, the thing made no sense. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. I read through the filings on one of my live streams like a year ago, and it was pretty obvious from his filings he wasn't making a lot of money on this. Like, I don't think he was making, like, he got, it was like 1.1 of the fee, like 10 basis points of the fee, if that. Almost the entire fee went to the servicing company, which I think was Title. So he wasn't making, I knew he wasn't making any money. So it was obvious that he just did this as like a vanity project. He just wanted to go to Wall Street and bang the gavel, to have the video of him, you know, with the big banner on Wall Street. But it was pretty obvious he wasn't going to make money on this. So who knows now, like, did he want to do this first, or did the company come to him, Title, to try and use his name? But I saw his video. I don't want to play it. A lot of people have played it. He claimed in the video, and I had a feeling this is what he was going to say. He was going to claim that he didn't run the actual ETF. He was just the name on it. And I'm pretty damn sure that that's basically more or less, I skimmed through his video. Like, that's more or less what he was saying. He was going to say, like, I didn't make any decisions. I was just like a figurehead they paid, and then they did all the trading. But I went through the filings. He was the portfolio manager. Like, Kevin was the portfolio manager. I don't think, like, he can't say that. He made all the investing decisions of this. There was no one else. There was no sub-advisor or anybody. It specifically said in the filings for the ETF that Meet Kevin Paffrath, did all the investing and made all the decisions on what was in this thing. So what I think probably happened, because it sounded like he didn't really expect this. I think he had to react after they closed it. So I think Title got sick and tired of dealing with him constantly trading. This is my guess. I think he was constantly trading all the fucking time. And every time ETFs, right, you have to, like, he'd have to call them, and then they'd have to put the orders in, all the paperwork. He probably was doing it like all the time, you know, like the freaking autism like hit Kevin all the time as he was drinking or whatever. And he's constantly trading. And they just got sick of it because they weren't making any money. I think someone said they made $500,000 in fees. So nothing. Like, if the lawyers probably took all that money to run this, but it's just so fun. And then, like, all his lies and where's the let me pull out the no, where is it? Okay, let me pull this. I'm gonna stop present. So this was from Echo's interview about this with Kevin. This he pulled it as a short, which was perfect.
So you're not launching ETFs for anybody. It doesn't really matter if people invest.
I'm launching the ETFs for me. If somebody wants to invest in them, they can. But I'm launching them for me. Like, you know, it's not like you know, I'm doing something here that is supposed to be this other big side hustle. It's like, you know, I don't expect it to take a lot of time at all.
You know that. I'm sure you at least have an idea.
ETFs aren't even for other people, really. You know, the reason I launched them is for me to put my own money into. So when I want to diversify out of Tesla, I can put them in there and defer taxes forever.
Which is funny because, first point, he didn't even hold Tesla. He sold it. Then he sold it, bitched about Elon, and said that the company was going to shit. And then it goes to like 300, and then he bought back in. So the first part of that's hilarious. But then he's like, okay, he put his own money in. If he did, okay, he underperformed the S&P 500 pretty terribly. So double loss on his part, which we can all toast to that. More examples of Kevin being just freaking terrible. Like, I mean, he's so bad. I might have lost for words how bad of a trader / investor he is. I don't even know what I call him anymore. I mean, like all the times we've covered. Let me go through some of my video files. Okay. So we got
Kevin.
Oh yeah, so we have House Hack. He wanted to sell you bonds. That was ridiculous. Who can forget? Remember this? Sell your stock,
yeah.
take a vacation. So when he said this, the whole stock market like rude after he said this. He just told people to go away for a month, and then the market just skyrocketed. All right, more crap.
He got the saying wrong because that tweet was in September. The expression is "sell in May, go away."
We have my favorite. Here. This was after he lied to Echoes. He lied to Echoes in an interview and said he does not do technical trading. He trades companies on like their fundamentals. He just made up shit. And then here's a stream where he literally was drawing lines on a chart. He drew this line and he put contracts. He was betting on this line basically. And as you can see, the stock went under it. So he was doing technical analysis trading. Got blitzed on it, but he lied about it. He wouldn't say he did it. What else? Oh yeah, he shorted Costco.
Oh yeah, that was so fun.
He shorted Costco. What did he? Yeah, he was saying like Costco was a hedge on the U.S. economy. Just freaking nonsense. Nonsense. I've never heard anyone say this before. But really his whole thesis, he didn't want to admit it, is just he thought Costco was too expensive. We all know that's what he was doing. He got wrecked on that. Closed that and lost. Didn't he short the QQQ at some point too?
I thought he might have, but I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, there's just so much in the last like bit of time. I can't even follow all of. You could make a chance. Yeah. Oh, I did do a video on him shorting QQQ.
Yep. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did that.
Yep.
I mean, dude, there's some stupid clown stuff he does. It's just hilarious. And people pay him. It's a sad thing. Here's this was his I'm very concerned about Tesla. This was like about the time that he sold out. But he originally bought it and then he sold, then he bought it and he sold. He's bought and sold Tesla like 5 times. Like he can't keep a story straight. So this was like his big what to do about Tesla being in big trouble. And we all know what happened after this. Like the stock has friggin' skyrocketed since this video. And he had to buy in later at a much higher price. And he has another video later saying that he bought back in. Let's see. Any funny comments from recently? Nobody. Yeah. He sells Tesla at 200 and then he comes back at 283. Brilliant. Oh yeah, and then rampant drinking.
Yep.
Can't forget that. But then you look at this portfolio and it's just like, what is pricing power? Like I thought he was going to get in trouble because his prospectus specifically said he was going to buy things that had pricing power, investments with pricing power. I look at this and I'm like, what is the pricing power of some of this stuff? Like, I don't know.
Treasuries.
You're not supposed to. You're supposed to stick to the strategy and the prospectus of the ETF that you friggin' put out there for investors. He could have got sued maybe over this, but what does he care? He's been sued like 10 times. Mm-hmm. But like this is utter freaking nonsense, and it's always been nonsense ever since he started. There was like a point where he had like McDonald's in here. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, we all know what he was trying to do. He was trying to play bonds and treasuries and interest rates, right? Because we could tell like the friggin' 20-year treasury 3x. Oh, that's what you want to be investing people's money in, other people's money. Friggin' a day trading ETF.
True,
and phase not been doing too well. Okay, what's the pricing power of a treasury note? Like, are we just giving up? Like, I can get this. My American Express savings account gets me 4%. I don't need Kevin to charge me a fee to get a treasury. I can go buy one. Rocket, we're playing interest rates. So all this is like the only thing here not playing interest rates is like Yelp. This is utter
Universal
nonsense.
Music.
This makes no sense.
Yeah.
And we can see, which is funny because he was like kind of following the market, and then he decided to play interest rates. And that's when he really got hosed. And I think he just gave up, or the company just got sick of him, something like that. But if we look at like year to date, or let's go 1 year. Yeah, this was when he started that. Like he started this interest rate play, which was last fall, and before that he was kind of close to the SPY. Like, okay, fair enough. You had some ups and downs. You're kind of following the market, but when he played rates, I mean, he tried to time rates and got obliterated. I mean, you're never recovering from this. I mean, so maybe that's why he gave up on it. But and what's funny is, so he's a stock investing guru, smart guy. Now all of a sudden he's like he's an expert on bonds, right, and interest rates. And this is very difficult to understand. People spend their whole lives devoted to friggin' bond markets, and here we are. This guy's just playing with your money, doing this. There's no trend. Okay, do you see a trend here?
Nope.
What fucking trend are you playing? Like, okay, let's just do 1 year because that's what. Okay, when it went up, went down, went up, went down, went up. What trend are you? Bonds. If you know the Fed is raising rates. Okay, well, Fed's raising rates or lowering rates. Then you have the Treasuries rates, and then you have bonds. I don't think he has any understanding of this stuff. This is not my game either because I don't buy bonds. So, but at least I admit it. And this guy's trying to like take other people's money and wreck them over this. It's just sad. But I think what's more important is not the treasury rates, but the inflation going up or down is that what affects these rates, I think, more. So, but there is no trend with rates right now. So there's no trend to play, and he's getting hosed. Oh, there we are. Meet Kevin is always a clown. The people that are trying to defend him, there's some YouTube or there were some Twitter people that were like the kiss assers were like, well, you know, he may have failed, but at least he tried. At least he tried. It's like, what do you mean at least he tried? Like, the guy admitted in 2019 he didn't even know what stocks are. And here we go, 4 years later? Because when did this start? 2013 or I think 22?
They're around.
Yeah. So 3 years after he admitted he didn't even understand what stocks are, he opens an ETF to invest other people's money. Like, shame on him. Like, he has no like background in finance, no education in it. He's never worked at any firms. Like, shame on him for doing this in the first place. This was so irresponsible for you to take other. And of course, you heard him in his interview. This was for him. It's funny because it's listed to the public.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because as a nobody, like speaking for myself, there are respectable people that already operate an ETF and have mentioned the challenges of opening, starting, and running an ETF. Like, not only as a way to make money for your people that are holding your ETF, but also for you yourself. And like, if Kevin wanted to do what he said in the Echoes interview, he probably could have just had like his own just personal accounts, his own family office of some sort.
Yeah.
Like
open a family office. If it was just for you,
Yeah.
you could have opened a family office.
Mhm.
You didn't have to put it out there for the public to buy it. You could have done this yourself. And if it was really for your own investments and tax savings, you could open a family shop. But you didn't. No. As always, it's all lies.
Yeah,
He wanted
complaining
the
about
gavel in. He
compliance.
wanted that intro video for his channel. He won't change his freaking intro. He'll still have the banging the gavel in his intros. Pricing power, like there was no like, what is pricing power? There's no evidence that even freaking matters. If you can even categorize pricing power, if it even freaking matters in investing, it's just a marketing ploy. But I couldn't believe it. Just I hope people didn't buy this. So I don't know.
Fingers
Did
crossed.
you get wrecked? I mean, you more just underperformed the market. It's just a lost opportunity if you could have just had indexing and you would have done fine.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, like I've done ETF reviews. I look at a lot of ETFs, which I need to do more of them. And I've reviewed, if people are new, a lot of the ETFs I've reviewed I tried to find ones that do have the chance, no guarantees, but that have a decent chance based on research that they could outperform, like temporarily.
Mhm.
Sometimes outperform, sometimes they would underperform. Based on research like Moat, Cows, SCHG, stuff like that. Like this is just nonsense. Like this thing. Why wouldn't you just buy like when he opened it, it was just like 20% Tesla when this originally came out. It's like, why don't you just buy Tesla? And then you're not paying a fee to meet Kevin. Because what's the difference in performance? But we still have these stupid activist investor guy. You know, we have the Future Fund. We have, Kathy
Oh,
with
yes. Yep.
ARK.
Good old ARK.
We got Ross Gerber's freaking piece of shit. So we got all these freaking people that are still out there. So has anybody done, oh, look at that. 3 years. None of them are even holding a candle to like the S&P 500. This
Yum,
one's
yum,
the
yum.
funniest because he was such a loudmouth, man. He needs to close this. I'm surprised he hasn't closed it because his idea, Ross Gerber, the GK, he's like, well, some of our clients don't have enough money to be actively managed by our firm. So he wanted a product for them to still be clients, but not be like their portfolios not be like controlled if they were like a low net worth person. Okay, well, you put him in a bunch of garbage investments because the truth was Ross Gerber wanted to prove that he was a better investor than Kathy Wood in ARK, which, okay, wow, you did a little better than her. Congrats. Look at you. And then you pissed everyone off in the world with your Tesla nonsense. So there's Meet Kevin.
Great times.
Meat boy. I don't know. He just needs to be an entertainer. Like, fine. Like, the word's out because you look at like the comments in a lot of his videos now, the word's out. Like,
Mhm.
so like Echoes and Strong, like the work they did to like put out how much of a clown Kevin was, like they're doing good work. I think it's out there.
Yeah.
The flip-flopping constantly. And like you can see how it hurt. Like his Tesla flip-flopping has hurt him his return. He keeps deciding his trading strategies change with the wind because Kevin doesn't really know what he's doing. He'll go from chart reading to pretending that he can look at financials, and then he'll do macro events as if they matter. Now he's a bond expert. Oh, Trumponomics, right? So that's enough of Kevin.
Yeah. Until the next thing fails.
Oh yeah, at some point. Well, this will be the shortest topic ever.
Yeah. Almost certainly.
Tariffs. We
Tariffs.
talk about booze.
Oh yeah, that too. That probably also will be pretty short.
So the tariffs. So it started as, I was going to talk about this last week, but recapping, 25% on Mexico, 25% on Canada. I kind of was just laughing when people were like taking it seriously. I'm like, this is a bargaining tool. Those two specifically. But then I thought like the other ones are not going to be bargaining tools because the Canada Mexico ones are just, I think, were for immigration purposes to get cut deals. Which, immigration reform, securing the border, cutting back fentanyl were his pushes. But now we're on to like steel and aluminum. The semiconductors potentially are going to be tariffed. He's going to start looking at Europe,
Yep.
Germany.
Mhm.
Some reciprocal, I think, tariffs on like cars and so forth. For better or worse, I will like Donald Trump has said this, and he thinks that a trade deficit represents a debt that you owe the United States of America. Like and some people in the group are like, that's not how that works. I'm like, well, no shit. I'm telling you what he's saying.
Yeah.
So if there's a $200 billion deficit between us and like Germany, in his mind, Germany owes us $200 billion. Like that's what he's thinking. And he's going to get his piece. So, and his plan is, and he said in some of his briefings that he's trying to push these companies to come back to the United States. So, chip companies, cars, steel, protecting the steel industry, bring it back to America, and then you won't be tariffed. That's where he's going. I don't know. And we just have to be flexible. I don't like what else.
Yeah.
It could change on a pivot.
Mhm.
Like the steel, like, did you think that was coming? All of a sudden, boom, we got steel aluminum tariffs.
Yeah.
So, which is funny because, what's the one? Cliff Cleveland?
Oh yeah, Cleveland Cliffs. Yep.
Cleveland Cliffs.
Mhm.
Because like if you had told me, okay, steel tariffs are coming, this is what I would have bought,
Yeah.
ahead of time. I'm staying away from U.S. Steel.
Mhm.
I heard that CEO talk on CNBC. He's a prick. Really don't like that guy. He was so in the pocket of the Japanese for that steel deal. It really rubbed me the wrong way. But this did what 8-9% when he announced that because they would benefit. Like, is that worth even thinking about though? Like this kind of a little bump.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tough
Like,
industry.
here was the bump on that news.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's not for me. Tough.
But then it comes right back down. So, I mean, this is the type of stuff people got to be ready for. If you're going to try and do like day trade, like this stuff will pop.
Mhm.
We're in a different type of reality. But if he's going to look at trade deficits as all tariffable, like there's a lot of stuff out there because
Oh
we
yeah.
control a lot of this,
Yeah. A lot of demand in the U.S.
a
market.
lot of demand from the
stuff.
U.S. This is what I was looking at too. The U.S. real GDP, they were looking at the reduction of the GDP based on tariffs because you're taking gross domestic product out of the economy and giving it to the country, taking it in tariffs. Like they were looking at the Chinese tariff impact, $55 billion impact on the U.S., $128 billion on China, because we know like the Chinese tariffs have less of an impact than ours because of the trade imbalance. I mean, this isn't new to anybody, but I don't know. I there's some retaliation, and he signed some retaliatory tariffs today because he's saying like, look, here's the tariffs. If you try and double down on us, I'm going to triple down on you. I don't know. I wouldn't say that other than the Mexico-Canada ones, I don't think the other ones are negotiating tactics necessarily. Like he's just out for the debts you owe the United States, like in his mind. So here's an interesting chart, just talking about the effects on China. So you could see they're saying like the effects on China are worse than the U.S. I mean, I don't think anyone needs difficulty understanding that. I think I'm just like the key part is just to be flexible because you got to think like, okay, where's he going to hit? First of all, it's like, well, what countries are not playing ball with us? Like, if the German, is it prime minister?
Oh
If he like say the German prime minister just badmouths Trump at some press conference, tells him he's a dick or something, you don't think the next day he's going to put freaking tariffs on German automobiles?
Yeah.
It's coming. But
Nice.
I see his point trying to bring this stuff back to the United States because, this really affected us during COVID. The fact that all of this manufacturing had left the United States. And then it was glaringly obvious during the lockdowns, like, oh, this is not good. This is a problem. We lose transportation assets and we're in trouble. Like if we lose access to trains and cargo ships. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We got steel and aluminum tariffs. How's this going to affect your trading? It's like, or investing?
Yeah. Well, am I going to rush out and do anything because the Chinese will retaliate on American pig farmers because they're high demand for pork and like let's go hog future hunting? Like no, that's not me.
Yeah, if you think, oh well, if U.S. aid is down, like U.S. aid, they cut it all. A lot of the farming in America subsidized by the government to feed the world. So a lot of the farmers in America are growing like crops and they sell them to the government and USA distributes them. You don't think that's not ending. that's not ending. They will make sure stuff like that keeps going.
Mhm.
So if you think you have some sort of short thesis, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe double think about it.
Yeah, I was
The
gonna say.
senators and the people in Congress still will lobby for their self-interests.
hmm
Like Fauci's, what is it? The National Institute of Health, NIH. A lot of their funding goes to like universities. Like red states have universities also. So don't
yeah.
assume those people are against that type of spending either when the budgets come out. So
Yep, goes
interesting
everywhere.
times. This is all macro stuff.
Yeah,
Let's not get into this. Okay,
it's
this
there.
was. I'm gonna play like the first minute of. Hold on.
Alrighty. While Dan is pulling up, please do consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Yeah.
Let's play the first minute.
Alrighty.
Good afternoon. What kind of trade and tariff relations would you like to have with India, and what's the vision for India? US?
Yeah, India traditionally is the highest, just about the highest tariff country. They charge more tariffs than any other country. And I mean, we'll be talking about that. But again, whatever they charge us, we're charging them. So it works out very well. It's a beautiful, simple system. And we don't have to worry about, gee, we're charging too much or too little. But traditionally, India is right at the top of the pack, pretty much. There are a couple of smaller countries that are actually more, but India is a they charge tremendous tariffs. I remember when Harley Davidson couldn't sell their motorbikes into India because of the fact that India, the tax was so high, the tariff was so high. And Harley was forced to build, I guess they built, I don't know, that was a while ago, but I think they built a factory in India in order to avoid paying the tariffs. And that's what people can do with us. They can build a factory here, a plant or whatever it might be here. And that includes the medical, that includes cars, that includes chips and semiconductors, that includes everything. If you build here, you have no tariffs whatsoever. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think our country is going to be flooded with jobs.
Gerbs. That's pretty much, he covered it right there. There you go. So tariff talk.
Tariff.
Go to meet Kevin. I'm sure he'll have a course with a discount code about the Trump tariff. He'll teach you everything you want to know. And that's that. All right, last thing. Where'd it go? Okay. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Okay. Bespoke.
Yes.
So you wanted this topic.
Yeah, because I think in the past I've mentioned that I thought the alcohol space might be worthy of long-term radar candidate.
Right, because we've looked at like
Yeah.
all the freaking spirits companies have gotten obliterated.
Yes.
Wine is at least one of them got so beat up it got bought by private equity.
Yes. Yeah.
Was that Duck? Or
Duckworth. Yeah, Duckworth. Fun times for that one. But yeah, so that was my thinking was, hey, maybe long-term candidate idea. But much like how you've had your piece on value investors, it's always important to look at the nature of the business. And in this case, yeah, you'd think, oh, alcohol, it's boring, and yeah, it's established and set in stone. But innovations and disruptions can happen, and I'm not necessarily saying, oh, Mark Cahode's with Bespoken is 100% spot on, or oh, like any sort of accelerated aging is going to automatically work, because historically it has been floundering. But at the same time, though, like maybe sometimes the thing does work in the future, and it does happen, and you buy yourself a value trap. So like ultimately, I wanted to like tie everything up with someone that I think we both hold in good respect, and mention, hey, you know, the whole long-term radar thing. Sometimes you need to evaluate your ideas and say, yeah, that can just, you know, be even on the longer term radar, and maybe it gets beaten down even more, and then maybe, but I don't know.
I listened to this,
Oh,
so
what
I'll
you
probably
thought?
link this below.
Yeah.
I guess so. Mark Cohodes is invested in this company,
Mhm.
Bespoke Spirits, which Derek Jeter has an investment, or he's like a co-founder.
Oh, well.
So it's interesting because they wanted to replicate Pappy's
Hmm.
whiskey, which is like freaking expensive. I don't know if people.
Yeah, because I'm not
Or
the expert
Pappy Van
customer.
Winkle.
Yeah, I'm not the expert in as a consumer in this space, so I figured, hey, maybe this will be fun DD for Dan in the future.
So these
for-
people
as
like were
customer.
like, hey, let's figure out what makes oh my god, Pappy Van Winkle such
Mhm.
a expensive, desired whiskey. And so they took it and they like scienced the shit out of it basically to figure out how you can make it for, you know, with modern technology, this whiskey. So they talk about it in the space, was it Spaces, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And they go through the science of breaking down the chemical components, and then they have a new process that is basically like, and I think they're saying it's faster, less raw materials are needed, so you don't need giant barrels that are aged for a long time, and then you lose like 10 or 15% of it anyways because it
Mhm.
evaporates out of the wood.
Yeah, the Angels cut.
So they're like, we can do it better with science. We won't lose that 10, 15% cut. We don't have to have all this, you know, all these wood barrels. They still use wood.
Yep.
I guess they're smaller, like wood containers.
Mhm.
I was like reading how I couldn't find a video of like this process. Maybe it's like secret.
Yeah.
You can read like how they're doing it, that description. Kind of interesting.
Yep. So
So you're thinking like this could disrupt the spirits industry if they can
I,
come out with a product that tastes 90, let's just say it's 90% as good, but it's like 40-50% cheaper to make it, right?
yeah,
Uh,
and I figured that, like, this is just the one that I know about and I'm aware of. How many others are there that I don't know about that also could be series contenders? So
as interesting.
yeah, like, you know, it is kind of like that iceberg where you only see what you see, but you don't know what else is there.
And this is what
So,
we've been covering. Like the newer generations are not drinking.
yeah, you
Like
know,
they're
from
not
a
drinking in
vendor's
the
perspective,
quantities
yeah.
of older generations.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it started with millennials, and subsequently each generation past millennials is drinking less and less. It's honestly because we grew up with baby boomer parents that were pounding beers every night after work. They'd come home and start slamming a 30 rack. So you don't want to do it because your parents did it. So
Yeah,
I would say
I
millennials are like the social drinkers. I'm just
mhm,
drawing broad stereotypes right now, but
yeah,
based on me knowing many
yeah.
millennials, like we're like just don't drink at all, and then we'll go social and we'll just go crazy, and then go back to normal. Um, that's my experience with people.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I I think, and I thank you for doing this, because like I didn't have that much really for this segment. It was just more of a, this stuff is hard, and like if you really want to do this thoughtfully, like don't be surprised where you have an idea and then you should scrap the idea altogether. Yeah, I didn't lose any money, I didn't gain any money, but you know, like, man,
So
maybe this is
this
another.
makes you, because this is like this goes into value. Like a value
Yeah.
investor
Hmm.
is going to look at this and go, "Oh my god, look how this is on sale. It's cheap. I'm going to do like a price to cash flow, price to sales. It's almost book value, some bullshit like that." It's like, well, hold on.
Yeah.
How do you know it will recover?
Hmm.
Like, there's more to the story than it being cheap. And we're
Yeah.
like, this
Yeah.
goes into like looking into these companies recently, and it's like, will they ever recover? A lot of stocks in the world reach a high point and they never get back to that point ever
Hmm.
in their life. So I think a lot of retail people assume like, oh, look, I can look at it. Let me go to the 5-year chart. Oh shit,
Oh,
this used to be
yeah.
in the 80s, and now it's in
It'll
the 30s.
it'll mean revert. We're getting back
Oh my
to
god, a
80s
genius.
easy.
That's
Yeah.
2.5x. It's like, well, maybe the good times are over. Like, so not only do they have to deal with like the younger generations not drinking as much, brand recognition questions, like is their brand portfolio even worth what they paid for it? Now you got stuff like newer technologies like this creating maybe almost as good for much cheaper spirits. And you don't know if your brands even matter anymore. So it just goes into question of even if I want to entertain these investment ideas.
Yeah. Same.
Which right now, not so much.
Mhm.
I don't think this has stock. I think you'd have to, it's a private
Yeah.
investment.
Yeah. It's one where like I thought you might get a kick out of it as a potential customer. If you wanted
I
to
want
get
to buy one of these. I'm very interested. After listening to Mark Cahotis, those guys talk about how they do this, which I'll link below.
Yeah.
But I'll buy a bottle of this.
Yeah.
I told you too about in the group chat, but I'll bring it here.
Yeah. Not everybody needs to necessarily like invest in a company as an investor. You can be a happy customer and still get great value.
So this company,
Mhm.
Cleveland Underground, I don't even know how I found this. I have no idea. But so what they do, they take like the spirit, they put it in like a pressure cooker, basically, with the wood. And then they do their process, and then out comes this. So there's no aging. But they're like, it has the pressure cooker takes all the flavor profile out of the wood. So that's their
Very
gimmick.
interesting.
So it's
Yeah.
not aged at all.
Okay,
And,
hooray. I didn't know about this one.
It's
Like until
I,
Sunday.
so I read all that and I'm like, well, shit, I'm gonna
Yeah.
try this. So I bought a bottle. I paid like, it's cheaper now, I guess, because I paid like $100. I had to ship it in from Ohio through a liquor store. I told Jesse, I'm like, if you do like whiskey tasting, I used to prepare whiskey tastings for like my friends. So I would have like a specific order. I would have like a page where I would describe it. Like, it's not just drinking. If you're going to do like, it's an experience, you're supposed to like be prepared.
Is the
So I'd have like
sommelier
5 or 6 whiskeys in a specific order, and I'd go from like lighter to like more heavy profiles. But like, this is a great way to start that because there's no age in it. So this is 0 age. Like, it's just the raw smell of wood, and there's no taste of aging. So it's very weird. And then you can start going to more, and then you can experience like, it's hard to describe what does aging even do to these like whiskey. If you drink this and then you drink like a 20-year age whiskey, you will know what aging does. Like, you'll taste it right in front of you. So it's kind of cool. But like I told Jesse, like the smell of these is great. The taste is like rubbing alcohol to me. There's the aging is all about the taste. Like you can make the smell for sure, but I would tell you, get a bottle. You should experience it. It's interesting, but it won't be the worst $50 you ever spent. There's Gil.
Yep, Gil's here.
Blackberry is $6. What was it, like $10 last time you talked about it? I don't know.
Don't know. I don't keep track enough on that.
Oh, Citizen is here. Another accountant. Let's see. Oh,
AMAT.
Jesus.
And Palo Alto? Question mark?
Palo Alto is,
I don't know.
I'm out of my range there. I never looked at applied materials. When I was looking at semi equipment, it was either Lam Research or KLA. I don't know why I didn't look at applied material. It might have been expensive compared to the other 2 options.
Could be. Yeah.
But those were good investments after DeepSeek because everything crashed. And it's like, wait, whatever model, whatever AI model we use, you need equipment to run the damn thing. So it was so ridiculous when all those companies crashed at the same time. Like when NVIDIA nosedived after that DeepSeek issue. I bought it. So it was so ridiculous. Big Gulf America sign in the back.
Yeah, back on the tariff segment.
Yep. Jabs. How is it work? Yeah. Oh yeah, the drinking thing.
Yep.
Should we get prenup or no? I think he's talking to Gil. Gil's starting something.
Yeah.
Anyone know what MicroStrategy is doing? What is old MicroStrategy doing? Okay. Should I play like fancy music in the background? You know, set the mood. Like a certain certain high yield warrior. I actually have. So I have music loaded. Hold on. I have music in the background. Where is it? I never played it. I just have it ready.
Metallica Ride the Lightning, and we all can.
See, I just have music loaded. I don't even. Not sure why. It's really loud. Wait. So does that make my streams better? I don't know. We'll just let it go. It's gonna annoy me soon.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like buzzing. Okay, what is MicroStrategy doing? Well, we covered. You know, I don't know if he remembers. We covered the preferred share issuance, and I think someone asked, "Well, how are you going to pay in their earnings call?" Because I talked about it before their earnings. I think someone was like, "Well, how are you going to pay? You have no operating cash flow to pay a preferred share dividend. How are you going to do this?" I think their answer was, "We have it covered." That was their answer. We have it covered. So there you go. He just has it all covered. So
okay.
Also, point of order. It is called strategy, sir, not MicroStrategy. You know, as a finance YouTuber, I expect you to do better than this. How dare you? Dan, you are a liar. Oh, I was just kidding. I don't follow Black or Blueberry. Sorry. I'm so late. We'll listen later on.
Yeah, I replied to him in the text part because Huntington was, you know, very briefly talked about.
Yeah, we just talked. I didn't specifically talk about.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll basically the risks that we talked about before kind of are happening. Like they are not recovering. They have labor issues. There's delays in the shipbuilding.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the budget yet, so I'm still waiting to see what kind of budget they're going to have for shipbuilding. Which the new DoD, you know, SecDef says he wants to build a shitload of boats to keep up with China. So I'm not so confident that HII can spit them out like crazy. But I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
So it's
I'm early. Yeah, painful, but you know, we'll see.
Dude, you can't just make a full claim like that. Sure, I'm a YouTuber. Jay Naughty's last stream had over 50 live viewers.
Hey, good on Jay Nagy.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
I think I signed into one and he had like 80 at some point.
Very nice.
I got up to like 100 at one point. But it's always on a day when something happens in the market, like usually like a really negative thing, you get a ton of viewers. Like Fabio got like 300.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I know that I would think it would understand what is asking all by the new strategy. Yeah. Jay Nagy spin truth. But like I got attacked like when I was making fun of Misty. I had some people now, oh, look at you, you're so wrong. I'm like, I'm not a hater on Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin if you like Bitcoin. But these products are stupid. Like MicroStrategy's dumb and friggin' Misty's even stupider. So, which is funny because they're like, haha, look, Misty went, you were laughing at it when it was like 19. When it went up to like 40. My answer the whole time was always like, we'll see. We'll see. I'm like, we'll see. Okay. Oh, look, you got, you know, $40. Oh, what happened? Oh, we're coming right back to Jesus. It's not hard to understand. These are stupid products. Like certain people we know that run YouTube channels that buy this stuff are getting hosed. Kamara's lost like half of his friggin' portfolio on Misty. So, because he was buying it up here. Oh, these poor lost souls. But there was a funny comment. Someone's like, why? I saw on Reddit, someone's like, why did Ethereum like nosedive on tariff news? Someone's like,
Yeah.
what is it? What is Ethereum made of aluminum?
Aluminum, yes, that was the
Well,
one.
this is crypto. Like steel tariff news came out and like crypto tanked on it. Makes no sense. But you're buying crypto. You tell me what friggin' sense it makes. I don't know. Anything else? Should we? Oh, last thing. I always like to check Trump meme coin before. I think every episode I like to just check it. Oh shit. Okay. Wait. It's hard to find it too sometimes when you search.
Oh yeah.
It'll pull up some other stupid nonsense. Okay. Oh, look, it recovered a little bit.
Hooray! We're back, America.
It's always the same freaking chart, isn't it? No
It's
matter
always-
what
yeah.
crypto coin you friggin' pull up, it's always the same chart. Skyrocket, slow death.
Woo!
This is like every time. Oh man. I wonder what Miscellaneous coin does too. Oh well.
Yep. Not my area of expertise. Good luck, everyone, if you do.
Let's see what Neil. Oh, Neil's a member now.
Hey.
Thank you. I would say I promise to do more videos, but I try. I don't know. I've been truthfully like kids sports have been crazy. I had both of them doing karate, music concerts, basketball. Like it's just been a lot. Basketball season ends this week. Basketball season's 5 months.
Dang.
It's been going since September. And it's like 3 days a week. It's like 1 or 2 games or 1 or 2 practices every week for months. And now we're going right into volleyball for like 2 weeks. And then it's supposed to be a break. But it's a blitz. I don't know.
No rest for the wicked.
Thank you, paying. I was promising Ian, I'm like, if I get 10 members, I probably should do like member content. See, I feel like if I was going to do like breakdowns, like actually the FTAI muddy water discussion, that should be a video for members. I feel. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll wait till after earnings. That's like the 27th, I think.
Yep.
So, and that's a very accountant investment because a lot of the short report was accounting terms and stuff.
Mhm.
Actually, Citizen of the Year would enjoy it. I don't know if he's yeah, if you want a different video, because I know I don't want to say what kind of work he does. He is an accountant, if he's still listening. But you should go to the Muddy Water short report on FTAI, and you could discuss some of the accounting accusations that they made. Might be a good video for you. So we'll see if he does it. He's probably just out now. Someone mentioned Agma could be a good investment. I have not followed Agma. That's Ask Fabio.
Yeah.
I'm totally out. It's like stuff gets suggested, and like half of it, I just don't want to get into it in capital mindset. So I try and tell people if they ask me, like I don't look at everything. I'll do like the cover of it and then decide if I care. Like I don't know nothing about Mr. Cooper really either. Fabio wants to make his. I don't want to speak for him.
Yeah.
He's talked about stuff. So
Yes. Probably not an ETF though, if I had to guess.
I just think it's another ball game talking about other people's money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was where
also-
Kevin got in trouble. Like it's
Yeah.
okay to be a clown with your money.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden you have other people's money and you're still doing the same nonsense. Like there's stuff like there's lots of stuff I do I would never do for other people with other people's money. Like the fact that okay, maybe I should talk about this. So you saw what I talked about Elf a bit.
Yeah.
So wait, let me turn off this background music. I totally forgot I had it on.
Why do
It's
they
actually-
always send the poor?
It's actually really annoying to have that background music.
Yeah. I'm not a background music guy.
So I bought. A lot of us were excited about Elf on earnings because I thought Estee Lauder took a nosedive. Maybe that's because Elf is taking some of their business. And they'd already been you know, it got kind of down to a really appealing valuation before earnings. So, and then we thought they would do some recovery in their sales, and I thought it'd be fine. And then, boy, was that was a gut punch. That was a gut punch when you saw, I don't know for you, but for me, seeing it go down like 25%.
Yeah.
I don't care when people say like, "Oh, I'm an emotionless investor." Like, no, dude. Like I just walked away. Like when I saw that, like I didn't talk to anyone the rest of the night on any Discord or nothing. I was so pissed. And then I started looking at it after a while, and I'm like, this is such an unfair destruction on Elf. I'm like, their sales numbers are decent. Like the top line number was good. I could see there were some bottom line issues. There's the TikTok concerns. The CEO made comments that TikTok affected their business and the marketing of it, which probably put fear into people, because they're like, well, if TikTok goes away, how's this going to affect Elf? Stuff like that. But it's like, is all of that 25% obliteration? Like, I didn't feel like that was so ridiculous. So I was still mad, and I thought revenge trade. So I didn't want to buy any more stock. So I bought as soon as market opened. It was like $65. And I was on the option chains. So I knew exactly what I wanted to buy. Because I'm like, if I'm right and this is ridiculously oversold, I'm like, it's gonna pop quick. So I was ready. So I got on my second try, I got my options bought. I told Fox I went pretty heavy. I went risky.
Ooh.
I was pretty confident. I was not uncertain. So enough that it was scaring me, but it was like 1 month out contracts.
Oh
$20,000.
wow. That's some conviction.
Yeah. So it popped right away, like to like 73.
Yep.
And I was up pretty damn big. I'm like, oh, okay, it's going. And I'm like, I feel good, but maybe it'll go to like 8. If it goes to 80, I'm like, I've cleared a lot of money. So I got greedy. So and then sure enough, I see it go from 73 to 69. I'm like, oh my God. And like my heart's coming out of my chest. I'm like dying out here. I'm like, okay, I'm not wrong. And then when it got back to like 72 that day, I'm like, I got my revenge money back. So I got all my recovery of my losses. So whatever. If you want to hate me on that, it's fine. I still think I thought that sell off, like now like 75. Yeah. Okay. They deserved a little sell off from freaking earnings. I think they're pretty short term. This is about it. Like, this is about the drop you would have expected on the earnings, 75-ish. So, I mean, long term, it might be a perfectly good deal or investment. I'm not sure if I would long term a makeup company.
For me, it's a bit of like a head turner, just because like I get that TikTok probably was a really big deal, but if what like some of the numbers show that the Western TikTok user base like truly did pivot and maybe is sticking with Xiaohang Shu or Red Note, like that in theory shouldn't be the most impossible leap for Elf to make. But then again, what do I know? So yeah, I was surprised that it dropped that much.
I know. I still have the shares because I think, like, just looking at it, I mean, their growth numbers they didn't stop growing, right? Like this quarter, still growing. I think, I don't know, it's all in front of them. It's a very interesting company at the price it was when it was like $80 at this price point.
Yeah,
it's worth a small speculation. Same, kind of similar as Crocs. It's just something different that's not an AI or computers or HVAC. Dan, bro, don't promote emotional Trasif, please. I'm sure he's like trading.
Trading. He had that underneath.
I joke, but it was not emotional because I really did think the sell-off was like ridiculous, like 25% drop. That was not a 25% sell-off earnings at all. So, but where they're at right now, this is what, like 10% sell-off? Like, okay. companies get 10% sell-offs on slight, you top line you beat, bottom line problems, comments about average, TikTok concerns. Fair enough, 10% drop.
It's funny what Gil's saying that I'm supporting emotional trading. I'm guilty by association.
Guilt doesn't get me. Like I just bust chops and make jokes, and
Yeah, I don't get it, Gil.
he
You
takes
do
it
you.
all to heart, all of it to heart.
You do you, Gil.
My trading account is only for clownery. What are we doing here? That's what it's for. And then there's a whole bunch of boring dividend stuff. I don't like. What am I supposed to talk about? Like Carrier, Tran, Waste Management, Caterpillar. Like, what do you want me to say? Like McDonald's. I don't know what you want me to talk about those. And I'm slowly trading off the dividend stocks and just dumping it into like dividend ETFs, anyways. So I'm not really adding to it. What was the money laundering you said I should watch? Oh, I'll send you. I'll type what I said to Citizen after this. Well, I think that's it.
Yeah. Good times. Good
Yeah.
times. Good old market.
So stay flexible, people. Trump's going to say stuff and then reverse it and then do something different. If you feel you need to be more cash, then so be it. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you need to take some money off the table. I'm kind of like cautiously optimistic, I think. So yeah, that's where I am.
Yeah, I'd say so. Like there's legitimate things to be concerned about and things where it like mountains out of molehills, and it's a market. Like there's opportunity, there's stuff that optically looks like a bubble, stuff that probably is a bubble, and just like you said, be flexible. It's all good.
Just remember, until Mark Zuckerberg slows down his CapEx spending, the freaking we talk like Nvidia got sold off on DeepSeek. Okay, what are we at now? 135.
Yeah.
Like Mark Zuckerberg should be your guidepost. They're not slowing down. He literally said it in the call. I'm just revisiting what I said 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, AI is a bubble data centers because of like shit and rainbows. It's like the CEOs of these companies are telling you they're not slowing down their spending.
Yep.
This is not like the risk in the market. Like these companies it's flying.
Follow the money, as some might say.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
what to tell people. I love this company. Anyways. All right, that's it. So anything else you wanted to hear. Thanks for watching. Do another video, maybe one next week. We'll see.
Yep. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, and we'll see you again.